got to answer that question for yourself. If the answer is no, I wouldn't, then be okay walking away.
Yes.
They've said, we want you. So now you do have a little bit of leverage here.
Hey guys, welcome to this episode of The Rachel Cruze Show, and I'm excited. My good friend, fellow Ramsey personality, King Coleman. Welcome back.
Oh, it's always good to be in the living room with you, Rachel.
I know,
it's
you like it? You like the vibes?
Yeah, I'm a little
great.
disappointed, though. I did send a very specific rider of some snacks and drinks, and I see nothing.
There's nothing.
So I must not have...
It's called a high-maintenance guest, is what that is.
I am that.
But Ken is a #1 national best-selling author and host of The Ken Coleman Show, where he helps people figure out what they are born to do and maps out a plan to get them there. So, Ken, I feel like the one word I'm hearing all the time, inflation.
Oh my gosh.
Inflation.
Yeah.
Everything's
Yeah.
expensive. Inflation. Gas prices. Inflation.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a real thing.
unbelievably
So
real.
what have you found?
Well, I see the two big squeezes for people are gas and groceries. I mean, if you think about that, that's why what you do is so important. That budget, as you say, the freedom to spend is so important right now because while we're seeing people get a lot of jobs, the great resignation, many of you've heard that phrase, we've had nearly 30 million people, Rachel, change jobs since August of 2021.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, it's extraordinary.
Yeah.
So over 4 million a month. Each of those months.
Wow.
It's extraordinary. So people are leveling up, if we want to use that phrase, meaning they're taking a job for more money. Well, that's great, except for prices are going up.
Yep.
And so you look at just two items, gas and groceries, and you start looking at that check and you go, wait a second, it's not going much further or it's not any further at all. And so people are going, oh my gosh, I got a better job, but I still don't have any check left at the end of the month. So what do we do in times like this where prices are still skyrocketing? With the Ukraine conflict and everything else, oil prices up. Remember, all of these salary increases mean companies pass those expenses on to you.
To the consumer.
So what happens before this cycles out? Well, we're going to have to go make some more money.
Yeah.
I'm reminded of what your dad taught you in the old days, right? We want to make some money, we got to go work.
Yeah.
And so right now the side hustle is easy. There are opportunities all the time. Companies, all different types, all different industries are looking for people right now. So if you're looking for that second or maybe third job, if you're in a season of, I got to get out of debt, I'm gazelle intense, or I've got something really important that I've got to save for, and my job's not bringing in the income, right now is a wonderful time because the demand is high. You are at your most valuable that you've ever been in the history of the United States, 3.4% unemployment. So if you need more money right now,
There's
go
places,
work.
Yeah, to go to do it. So for some people, though, they're thinking, okay, I've been in my job for 3-4 years, and the market has increased.
Yeah.
So one way to get more money is just to ask, stay at your job,
That's right.
but ask for an increase. So
That's right.
What advice do you have for people that want to go and ask for a raise?
This is a great question because there's a lot of tension around how do I ask for a raise? You don't want to offend your boss. And so with that theme in mind, what I like to tell folks is don't ask for a raise specifically, ask for a growth plan. Now, a lot of people don't use this language. So when you go to your leader, this is really simple, but what you want to do is, first we have a posture, and I'm not talking about a physical posture. I have horrible posture. Horrible. Look how straight she is. I'm like this.
I have learned over the years.
That's what I feel like talking to Rachel like this. But anyway.
You know what you do? You push this in.
There it is.
And you go up, back, down.
See, she's amazing for so many reasons. There's another tip.
There's a lot of tips I got.
A lot of tips, folks.
That's just one. That's
you
a
don't
freebie.
even have to watch the rest of the show. That's
a freebie.
good. All right, so the posture, what do I mean? A spirit of humility.
Yes.
We're not going in there saying, I'm unhappy. We're not going to act unhappy. We're going to go in and we're going to have gratitude all over us. Think about putting on kind of a gratitude jacket, and you want to say something to this effect. You can make this your own. But something to the effect of, hey, I really enjoy working here. And I want to work with you as my leader to create a growth plan. First thing I would love, and I don't expect you to answer this now, but I'd love to hear from you. What are some areas that I could do better in? Where can I get better? And then what are some new skills that if I would add them to my tool belt, I would be more valuable to you and the team? Now, that example right there, that's humility without acting poor mouth. And it's just, hey, how can I get better? Where can I get better? And then what are some skills that I could add? That's a wonderful way to start this. Now that leader is not on the defensive.
Yes.
You've not asked them to respond now. You say, I want to set a meeting where we can do this. That's the first piece. And then, well, it's really two pieces there. That third piece is, and then I'd love to measure that. How will we measure my improvement? Because here's the deal. I want more opportunity to be influential on this team and in this company. And as a result, I want to grow professionally. That's move up in position and also make more money.
Yeah.
Did you see how I approached that? There was never anything in there, hey, how do we talk about a raise? Because the minute you use that word raise, I find that it puts leaders on the defensive because they have to respond to that.
Yes.
You can't just put the word raise out there
Yep.
and not expect them to respond. So what we're hoping is that you have a healthy leader who will receive that and go, okay, that was handled well. Sure, I want them to do more and win more for us because then I win.
Yes.
So we hope that they then put a meeting together and we come up with a growth plan that is specifically measurable that will lead to more money. If they don't respond well to that, Rachel, what we've done is we've eliminated the fact or the potential opportunity for you to get fired because you put them on the defensive. They just kind of kicked the can down the road and they were passive. Then you go, oh, you're one of those leaders.
Yeah.
This is not a place that I will be staying at long term. That's how I ask folks and kind of recommend that folks approach that. Because then we're going to find out what we need to find out, but I don't think we're going to put ourselves in danger of being ostracized or fired.
Yes, because a leader can feel that way, right? If they're
Absolutely.
So what are some common mistakes that you find when people say, hey, I've heard people say, well, bring in marketplace.
Absolutely. Do
metrics,
your research and go, so based on, this is where we have to be realistic,
But is that a
Rachel.
mistake?
It's not a mistake.
Yeah.
It's not a mistake unless you lead with that. I would offer that when we have that meeting that we hope happens, which is the growth plan meeting.
Yep.
And I'd say, hey, I did a little bit of research. And based on my experience, that's years doing the work, and then my skill set, and then this area where we live, because it's different. The salary range in Los Angeles is very different than Nashville. So we have to take into account all that. You got to do very good research, and you want to show them a range of income. And so you then can say, this is what the market range is, and I'm obviously in the middle or I'm on the low end, but I want to earn that, and I want you and the company to feel good so that I can move up that range. So we still want to approach with that. The question you asked is the mistake that people make is they go in and they're indignant. I don't think they're trying to be indignant, this idea of, you know what, I'm entitled because I've been here this long and I've only had this many raises. That's the worst way. I don't care how sweet and how kind you say that. That leader's going to hear one thing. Oh, okay, you don't think that I've given you what you deserve. I mean, that's what they're going to hear.
Yeah.
And that is a non-starter.
Yes.
We're not going anywhere.
That's a mistake.
In fact, the only place you're going is to a new gig.
Yeah.
So that's the most common mistake. They think, oh, if I'm nice about it, but I say, I deserve this. I don't like to ever lead with, I deserve.
It's a dangerous phrase in a lot of things in life.
Because you deserve a lot of things that we're not even talking about.
Yeah, that's right.
And so you don't want to give any opportunity for that leader to misunderstand your heart.
Yes, that's good. Okay, so someone that's hearing this and they're thinking, okay, this is good. I can go in with a lot of humility and talk about, hey, I want to help the company. I'm here to help work and make this go forward. But I want a growth plan. All of it, right? They're hearing it. They're identifying with it. But they're nervous and they're thinking, because there's a level. The way you present it, though, is so great. But there still is not conflict, but there is like, hey, you're going in and
it feels
asking
like conflict.
for something.
You nailed that. I think you're absolutely right. It does feel like conflict. Doesn't mean that you're going in with a boxer mentality, but it just feels like, oh, this could go.
And a lot of people hate conflict. So what do you do? What do you say to someone that feels nervous or they're shutting down?
Relentless preparation leads to reflexive performance. All right, it's a fun little phrase because I love alliteration. But let's break it down. I do. I'm obsessed with it because I'm a preacher's kid.
Say it again slow.
So relentless preparation. I'll break it down.
Preparation.
That means I'm really preparing ahead of time, over and over again. I got my 3 or 4 points.
And then
I
it leads
know
to
what I'm going to say. To reflexive performance. That means it's a reflex. If I throw something at Rachel right now, and it would be something very soft and squishy because we don't want to hurt her. But what would you do if I went like this with a little hacky sack?
Yeah.
What would you do? You just you would guard yourself.
Yeah.
That's a reflex. So reflex is we don't think about it, we just act. So he throws something at us or throws a punch, we're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Right? So the idea here is that when we're nervous, the brain will perform. I actually did some research into this because I'm fascinated. I'm not a smart guy, but I'm curious. And I want to know, how does the brain work under pressure? And neurologists and all the science and the data says that you can retain up to 75% of what you really truly prepare for, even in your like highest anxiety like level. So just think like you feel like your world's falling apart. Your brain's still going to retain a lot. It is a supercomputer.
Yeah.
So that little phrase just means if I am really prepared, no matter how nervous I am, my brain will retain it. But can I give a little hack?
I love that.
You're big on the hacks and tips. I would, if I'm a person who tends to be really anxious, I'm going to go in with my moleskin and my notes in front of me.
Yeah.
I don't know why people think that that's, now I think it's weird if you go in and you got it written on your palm and you're like, that's weird.
Yeah.
But it's okay to go into a meeting with your leader and you've got notes.
Totally.
And you're looking at it. It doesn't make you look weak or feeble-minded. It makes you look prepared and serious. So that's an actual way to make sure that your brain, even if you're really nervous, and that 25%'s not, look down at your notes.
So
I
good.
I don't know why people don't do that even in job interviews.
Yes. Bring it. Yes.
So I think that is one way to absolutely make sure that no matter how nervous you are, at least you've got what you want to say in front of you. It's a great thing. That way you won't forget it.
So good. And you guys, when you say, okay, I'm going to go and have this conversation with my leader, and maybe it does go down the road that you actually do get it, right? That you're given more opportunity, you're paid more, all of it. And then it just helps in the whole cycle of your money, right?
That's right.
When your income goes up, it's a great thing. So one of the things I always hate thinking about, what if something happens to me? What if something happens to my husband, Winston? What's gonna happen to the family? There is a great solution, you guys, that really takes that part of worrying and stress and the not good feeling, kind of puts it at ease. And that is term life insurance. And Winston and I personally use Xander Insurance. And they're the best. They make the whole process, you guys, so easy. You give them your information and they go and they shop the top-rated companies for the best policy for you and your family's needs. So no one should go without term life insurance. So go check out Xander Insurance. Just go to xander.com to make sure that your family's future is taken care of. Okay, when it comes to negotiating. So asking for the raise, which I guess is a little bit of that negotiating status. But if you're like going to a new job and they present you with a salary and you think, oh, I think I could get a little bit more, how do you go about that negotiating process for a new job?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And again, I understand the word negotiation is the right question, but there's a mindset, I think, with people in negotiation, and I would say stop. You're not a world-class negotiator. So unless you've taken a FBI negotiating class, stop. You're not negotiating. What you're going to say is, okay, so they've offered, and let's just use real numbers here. They've offered me $75,000. I'm making 75 where I am. I did my market research and I looked at the range, and 85,000 is on the high end. I feel like I've got the qualifications. I feel like I've got enough experience to ask for that. So we do our homework on this and we look at that number and we go, okay, am I willing to walk over what I'm about to ask for?
Yeah.
So that's the mindset I want you to have. A, we need to be knowledgeable. It's not just because it feels good.
Totally.
Oh, 75,000 doesn't feel right. I don't care how it feels.
Yeah.
We got to work with facts. So I'm starting there, and then I'm going, okay, the reality is, I mean, you got to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Would you do the job for 75 if it was no ifs, ands, or buts? Got to answer that question for yourself. If the answer is no, I wouldn't, then be okay walking away.
Yes.
And so then just say this. Hey, I really appreciate the offer. I'm excited about working for you. But the reality is I make that now, or I can't take it for that. You choose your language, but you just kind of hold the line in the sand. Just draw the line and go, unfortunately, I can't do it for that. If the offer was 82.5, I'm signing instantly.
Yeah.
Or, so it's just a real adult conversation.
Yes.
Don't make all these wordy excuses. Speak directly, because they've offered you the job. Remember this, they've said, we want you. So now you do have a little bit of leverage here.
Sure.
But you got to know, but if you're not willing to walk and you ask for 82.5 and they go, sorry, now you've lost a lot of leverage. So that's why I tell people, be very informed on what the range is. Are you realistically in that range? And then what are you willing to say no to?
It's good. So good. And just having that plan, you guys, just going in and knowing what you want. And I love that. Even that hard boundary of like, are you willing to walk away? All that. It just gives you a framework to work with.
Well, you're really
versus
free.
going on and you're just like, figuring it all out. So good. Okay, so Ken, love everything you do. Love everything you talk about, helping people really figure out, what they're created and made to do on this planet.
Thank you.
But for you,
yeah.
and I ask every guest this.
I know. I'm ready.
Are you ready? Do
I
you know
did
what
my
it
homework.
is?
I think I know the question.
Okay.
What's one thing I'm doing with money right now?
It's creating a life that you love.
Yeah, so, man, I wish this was really interesting, but I've got kids in private school, and I got another one joining, and then my wife needs a replacement SUV in probably 6 months. Right now, Bruce the Burb is over 200,000 miles, and he's rocking. But Bruce is starting to have more ailments.
Oh, poor Bruce.
And I'm starting to get a little irritated with how much I'm taking Bruce to the doctor.
Yes.
You feel me?
Oh, I'm tracking.
So right now, what am I doing to live the life? Hey, when mama's happy, daddy's happy. Mama needs a new SUV, so we're socking the money away because have you seen the prices?
Oh, it's crazy.
For used SUVs
oh,
right
it's
now?
insane.
Truthfully, I'm holding out. I'm saving, but I'm hoping in, the summer or whatever, we start to see things right size a little bit. But my goodness, I'm in the saving
You got
mode.
some expenses. Private school and a new SUV.
Let me tell you something. I got another kid.
Fancy.
Oh,
you are
I'm not fancy.
Fancy
I'm not
Ken
fancy.
Coleman.
I'm hustling, baby.
Little bougie over here.
Yeah, that's me.
So good, so good. Okay. Well, Ken, thank you. Thanks for being on. Always good. So where can everyone find you?
KenColeman.com. We spent a lot of time thinking through that URL.
It's very creative.
Spent a lot of time on that. KenColeman.com. We have a ton of free resources there as well that'll really help people in this journey. And also they can find where to listen to the show. The Ken Coleman Show. Equally creative name. And so we spent a lot of time and money on coming up with that name. KenColeman.com.
How many cities are you in live?
Oh, man, we're 75 now. And then we're on Sirius XM live every day going into the Ramsey Show.
Yeah.
That's on the business channel.
Okay.
132 on Sirius XM and then YouTube and wherever podcasts are available.
It's awesome. So great. Ken, thanks always for being here. And you guys, I hope that this helped you because knowing how to start these conversations, have these conversations, it is the real deal right now. And increasing your income always helps when it is right for you. So remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.